Hello, everybody. It was raining last night and it's been raining all morning, and I love it. I love the rain. I love it when it's like foggy and dark and dreary and cloudy and misty and cold, and I'm kind of weird like that. Some people, they get all depressed, they like it when it's sunny and bright and nice weather outside, but me, I get depressed when it's sunny and for too long. I'm like, I want some rain, I want some dreary, nice and dark and cozy, and because I like to stay inside, and so I like to cuddle up inside, read a good book, and just look out the window and enjoy the rain and listen to the rain on the roof. I have a metal roof, so you can hear the rain. Anyways, I compiled a list of my favorite children's books from 2023. It's a new year, so I thought I'd do a video showing my favorite books that I read this year that were children's books, not any grown-up books, but children's books. I wrote down all the books that I put a 5-star rating on Goodreads, because I put all my books on Goodreads and I rate them. I rate every single one of them. I rarely write like a review on the book because I'm lazy about that, but I do rate them. And there was a surprising amount of books that I gave 5-star ratings to. I'm a little generous with the 5 stars. Or there's just a lot of good books out there. I don't know. So I came up with 22 books. 22 children's books that I gave 5-star ratings to. So I'm just going to show you all of those, tell you all of those. So going back from the farthest read, back in January, I read Flubby Will Not Go to Sleep. It was a random little cute little cat book that I saw at the library, and I thought that would be a good book for my daughter, so I got it. And I thought it was super cute. The illustrations just really bring to it, that's what kids' books are usually about, mostly is the illustrations, and they're what makes the book. And it was just a really cute book about a little fat little cat that didn't want to go to sleep. And it's by Jennifer E. Morris. Next we have My Little Brave Girl. This has been on my list for a while. I saw it somewhere advertised, I don't know where, and I saw that it was by Hilary Duff. I was a fan of Hilary Duff back in the day. I was at peak Disney Channel days, was when I was like a preteen or a kid, was when they had Lizzie McGuire and That's So Raven and Sister Sister and Even Stevens. To me, that's like the best time in Disney Channel. The best shows on Disney Channel to me, but that's because it was my childhood. So I liked Lizzie McGuire and Hilary Duff, and she now is a mother herself, and she's written a children's book, so I wanted to read it. And I think I bought it. I can't remember now. This was back in February. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I own it somewhere back there. I liked the title, My Little Brave Girl. It has an image of a pretty little blonde-haired girl, probably looks like her own daughter. And it's just a really sweet book talking about like her daughter, her brave little girl, and has really good illustrations. Next we have another Flubby book in February. After I read that first Flubby book, I was like, is there any more Flubby books? Because I want to read them because they're really cute. So Flubby Will Not Play With That is another one. I gave 5 stars to. Very cute. Got it from the library. In March, I had bought this like group of books from eBay or something, and there was this random book in it called A is for Abigail. It was like a children's book about history, an almanac of amazing American women. And I didn't expect much from it. I thought, it's a book about women of history that have done great things. I've read many, many books like that. I absolutely loved this book. It was so well done. It had so many little details in the book. I think I even made a video about it, but I don't know what I did with it. I think I made a YouTube video just about that book because I loved it so much. All the little details in it. It was a very good book. So if you can get your hands on it, A is for Abigail, an Almanac of Amazing American Women by Lynn Cheney. It was so good. Definitely 5 stars. Then in May, I have Castles, Conquer the World's Most Impressive Castles. It's just a book about castles and the history of castles and all kinds of stuff to do with castles, and it has cool detailed pictures where they show like the insides of castles, different ones. I've always loved castles. I've always been intrigued by them. My idea of a dream like vacation or travel place would be to go to like Ireland, Scotland, England, Europe, and find like these awesome castles and like do tours of them or whatever. I've always been fascinated with castles. I think they're really cool. So I love this book. Then in May, I also have a book called Fearless Felines, 30 True Tales of Courageous Cats. This is a book I randomly saw at the library, and I thought it looked interesting. It's different stories about like kind of famous cats throughout history that did certain things. I was like, I don't know many things about cats, like many history stories of cats, so this will be new and different. I liked it so much and the illustrations and everything that I ended up buying the book for my mom for Mother's Day, along with a bunch of other books. I got her a book for every letter of the alphabet, ABC. So Fearless Felines was the F book. I could have went with Courageous Cats, C book, but I actually got confused. I was like, this is for C, right? And then I was like, no, I have another book for C. No, this is for F. Fearless Felines. And then when I was looking online for the book, I found that there's another one about dogs. So I got my mom the cat book and the dog book. I forget what it's called. Something dogs. Something starts with a D. But I haven't read the dog one yet, so it's not on my list. Now this book I read in June, and I don't remember much about it. Okay, so this was a really sweet book called Outside Amelia's Window by Caroline Nastro, Anka Sandhu Budasan is the illustrator. It was about a girl who had an injury and she was in a wheelchair. And so she was scared to like go out and play with the other kids and stuff. And she stayed in her room and read books all the time. But she was trying to be brave like the girls she read about in her stories. Brave as the heroines of the stories she reads. With the help of a little bird outside her window, Amelia finds the courage she needs to embark on a journey in her new wheelchair, where she discovers that there is magic to be found just outside her window, with lyrical text and lovely watercolor illustrations. It's a heartfelt story about friendship, new beginnings, and embracing the beauty of the world around us. Yeah, it was a really sweet story with good illustrations. Another one I don't remember much about I read in June. I always read a lot of kids' books in the summertime, because it's the summertime. We have the summer reading challenge that we do. Em's not in school, so I take her to the library a lot and we read a lot of books. So they're kind of, all blended in and mixed in. It's hard to remember. This one is called Here Comes Teacher Cat by Deborah Underwood. And I didn't expect much from this book, but it has super cute illustrations. It's got a fat cat. I guess I just have a thing for fat cats. They're just so cute and adorable and funny in the illustrations. The cat is a substitute teacher. Yeah, I don't remember much about it. I just know that it was really cute. Okay, next I have Can You Make a Scary Face by Jan Thomas. This one probably wouldn't have made my list by itself, like just for me, but my daughter loved it. She loved this book and she asked me to read it several times and she laughed and she had a big smile on her face. And my daughter doesn't get into books very much. She's not like me and my mom. We are like super into books. Me, my mom, and my grandma. Like it comes down the line of women. But my daughter, she's like, I don't really care about books. And I'm like, what? Huh? How is this possible? Like, I don't understand. But she's not super into books. She likes pop-up books and lift the flap type books. Books that like let you do something. And she likes books that have you like interact with them. But just a regular book she's not really into. She thinks it's boring, which kills me. But but everybody has different interests, whatever. She loved this book, Can You Make a Scary Face? Because it asks the kid to do things like making certain faces and things, and then they do it. And she just thought it was hilarious. She loved it. So I had to add it to my list because it made her happy, and that made me happy seeing her that way, and it was just adorable. Then we have The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. I have read this book before. I've read it since I was a little kid. I've read it many times. It's a classic book. My mom loves this book. Has a lot of deep meaning to me and my mom. And so I reread the book because I was doing some kind of bingo challenge at the library. And it said to read a banned book or attempted to be banned. And The Giving Tree is one of those books for some reason. Don't know why. Doesn't make any sense because it's a super good book. Teaches like great lessons. Tells a really beautiful story. I don't know why it was on the list of like people tried to ban the book, whatever. So I reread it. My mom has a copy of it in her library from when I was a little kid. So yeah. Then I have Can I Play Too? Elephant and Piggy number 12. I've read several of these Elephant and Piggy books to my daughter. She actually does enjoy these books because they're funny. They're a little bit different than a normal book. They're kind of comic strippy and they're really funny, and I don't know. It's not like it tells the story through pictures mostly, and it's very humorous. So she really enjoys these books. Then I have Acorn Was a Little Wild. I just love the illustrations in this book. They were so cute. The little acorn with his little face. He's so cute. And he just kind of goes crazy and goes on a little adventure. And I just really like the illustrations. It's by Jen Arena. Now this one I don't remember because there's no picture of it. It says What If by Samantha Berger. The girl is determined to express herself. If she can't draw her dreams, she'll sculpt or build, carve or collage. If she can't do that, she'll turn her world into a canvas. And if everything around her is taken away, she'll sing, dance, and dream. Stunning mixed media, illustrations, lyrical text, and a breathtaking gatefold conjure powerful magic in this heartfelt affirmation of art, imagination, and resilience of the... Well, let me read anymore. So the Cobbets... Someone said 8 stars out of 5. I love this book so much. I've read it 3 times. Its message stays with me like few picture books ever have. Stunningly beautiful with a message that speaks to the importance of creativity. Definitely a great day companion book. I plan on buying many copies to share. This is an important book that needs to be seen. Someone else said, what if all your art supplies were taken away? Even with that, we can still be creative in this world. Our creativity has no limits, only the limits we put on it. The artwork is beautiful and it inspires the imagination. Nephew thought this was okay. He enjoyed seeing rocket ships made from floorboards or a radiant sun by pulling paint off a wall. He appreciates that kind of destruction. I mean, art. He gave this 3 stars. I don't remember what the book looks like because there's no picture, but I'll try to find one for you guys. If it's about art and being creative, that explains why I liked the book. Then we have Sam and Dave Dig a Hole. I loved this book. I love every book that has to do with this illustrator, Jon Klassen. He's like my favorite children's book illustrator. I hadn't even heard of him until probably a year or 2 ago. Maybe a year, maybe this year. I don't know. I started to find his books at the library and started reading them. And his illustrations are what makes it such a great book. It's so, well, I mean, the words are good too. They go with it, but oh my gosh. So Sam and Dave dig a hole, about these 2 boys that dig a hole, basically like this giant hole that just keeps going and going. And you just have to read the book to understand how crazy it is and cool. They're like looking for something and it shows how their hole is going underground and they keep missing these things. It's like giant gemstones and stuff that they're missing and going digging this hole. They're like, let's go this way, let's go that way. And it's just so... Now this book, Jon Klassen writes a lot of books. This one's written by someone named Mac Barnett, and Jon Klassen's the illustrator. But it still have the same feel as the books that I've seen with Jon Klassen writing and illustrating. So they work really well together. This is an award-winning book. Now, next we have another Jon Klassen book, I Want My Hat Back. Number 1 in the Hat trilogy. I think I also did a video, a long time ago, I did a video about the Hat trilogy. Or one of the books at least. I Want My Hat Back, something like that. Jon Klassen. I love these books. I want to own them so bad, but they're so expensive. So I haven't owned them, but I check them out from the library from time to time. It's hard to explain. You just have to read the book. It's so funny and clever and weird. It's weird. Like, I can see how some people would just not get it. And other people like me would be like, this is my kind of comedy. This is my kind of, like, I just like this. I don't know why. This one has a very long title. It's a very long title. The True West, Real Stories About Black Cowboys, Women Sharpshooters, Native American Rodeo Stars, Pioneering Vaqueros, and the Unsung Explorers, Builders, and Heroes Who Shaped the American West. That's the title. See? That. Oh, can't see it, can you? Sticking ring light. I saw it for a second and then it disappeared. Yeah. That is the title of the book. By Mifflin Lowe and William Long. I don't know how to pronounce it. Luong. Long. Illustrations. He did the illustration. Anyways, it was a good book. It was one of them thick kind of coffee table like books. I checked it out from the library, and it told about like cowboys and cowgirls and people from the Old West that a lot of them I never heard of. So it was cool there was a lot that I had heard of, like, Wild Bill Cody and what's that girl's name? something Star. I don't know. Something Star. She was like really good at shooting targets and stuff. And I don't know. There was a bunch of ones that I'd heard of, but there was a lot that I had not have ever heard of. So I liked that. Reading about them, there was good illustrations. It was basically like a big picture on one side of the page, and then, you know, writing about on the other side of the page, writing about the person. Then we got another Jon Klassen book written by Mac Barnett, illustrated by Jon Klassen, The Three Billy Goats Gruff. I also did a video about that one. I don't think I've posted it yet, where I was reading that story and just like cracking up about it like a crazy person. But yeah, that's a really good, really funny story. I've heard the story of the Three Billy Goats Gruff a million times. It's a classic story. Like, I know it as well as, you know, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, or the Three Little Pigs, or, you know, one of those type of stories. But this was my favorite version I've ever read because of the illustrations. The illustrations made it so good and funny. And my daughter also enjoyed this book because we were cracking up reading it together. So I really like it. I read a lot of these books. I checked them out from the library. The Who Is, or the What Is, or like these books, they all have an image on the front of a person with like a big head, like they look like a bobblehead or something. And I refer to them as the big-headed books, the books with the big heads. So I checked out several of these books, and I really like them. They're very informative. They have a lot of good pictures, and they're very detailed and tell a lot of information I had no idea about. So I've been a fan of R.L. Stine for a long time. I love the Goosebumps books. I grew up watching the TV show, and I love the books. But I didn't know anything about R.L. Stine. So this book was telling, like, pretty much, you know, about his childhood, about how he grew up, his career, how he became famous, how he wrote the Goosebumps books, and how he came to be. And it was very detailed, and I learned a lot. I didn't know hardly anything about him, so it was very interesting. I liked it a lot. Then we have Teeny Tiny Toad. Toadie. Teeny Tiny Toadie. By Jill Esbaum. And Kika Yamaguchi did the illustrations. It was just so sweet and little and cute, this tiny little frog. And if I remember correctly, his family is in trouble. They're like stuck inside a bucket, and he helps them get out of it. And it's just really sweet and encouraging, saying like, it could be this tiny little person, you think you can't do anything, you can't accomplish anything great, you can't rescue these people, whatever. And he figures it out, and he does it. Yeah, his mom gets, I don't know if it's a girl or a boy, but their mom got picked up by a person and put into a bucket. Like the person's hunting frogs or something. They picked her up, put her in a bucket, and she's stuck in a bucket. So the tiny frog runs to get help. Mama's stuck inside a bucket. Help me get her out. And her big, clumsy brothers say, don't worry, we got it. And then they end up stuck in the bucket too. And they're like, you can't help us, you're so tiny. But she does help them. So it's sort of a David and Goliath type story, and I like it. And it's got super cute illustrations. Then we have another one of the big-headed books. What is the story of Dracula? I've always been fascinated with vampire stories, the whole culture and the stories and everything, the lore of vampires. So, and I knew quite a bit about Dracula, I thought, but man, I didn't know a lot of stuff. And this book had so many details of the complete, like, origins of Dracula and all the old like black and white movies and the all the different versions of Dracula there have been over the years. So it was very fascinating, very interesting. Then we have another kind of funny book, like dark humor, I guess, the kind of humor that I like. I don't know if everybody likes it, but Somewhere in the Bayou by Jerome Pumphrey. This was just a book I checked out from the library. I didn't expect much from it, and I thought it was hilarious. This little group of little creatures, like a squirrel, and I don't even know what they are supposed to be, a rabbit, a possum, a squirrel, and a mouse, maybe. And they're in the bayou, and they're trying to do something like cross a body of water or something, and they're scared to do it, and you just have to read the story. It's so funny. It's so dark and it's so funny. I like it. And then last but not least, another John Klassen book, I believe. No, it's not a John Klassen book. I'm wrong, but it has the John Klassen feel about it, so I assumed it was a John Klassen book, but no, it's not a John Klassen book. But it's got that same type of humor as it. It's by Heidi McKinnon. I Just Ate My Friend. And I was cracking up reading this story. And my daughter liked it too. I Just Ate My Friend. Oh, it's so good. So that's all of them. That's the 22 books, children's books, that I gave 5-star ratings to this year. If you have a kid, or if you're like me and you just like reading children's books anyway. I didn't even read all of these books to my daughter. Some of them I just read for myself because she wasn't interested. Then I would suggest checking these books out, but you gotta have the same kind of weird sense of humor that I do, I guess, for some of them. Some of them I think anybody would like. Well, I guess that's it. I don't know how to end this. I plan to do a video about my favorite grown-up books from 2023 as well. So check that out. I don't know if it's already going to be out or if it hasn't come out yet, because I'm not very good at keeping up with my schedule. I just kind of do things floating by the seat of my pants, you know. I don't have much of a schedule, so it's like whatever I feel like editing, then that's what I do next. Like, subscribe, leave comments down below that are nice, and have a nice day. Bye.